Aakancha. Since you are heading demand planning in Goodyear, how are AI-driven forecasting models and digital planning platforms reshaping the accuracy and agility of demand planning?
Okay, thank you. I think all of us in our respective organizations would have heard the word AI a lot now. That is the it word right now. But when it comes to demand planning, or for any organization for that matter, not only Goodyear, I think one of the things that is changing through digitization is that we all of us saw COVID. And I think post-COVID, people have mentally prepared, and not only people at home, but people within organizations as well. Because before that, what I have seen personally is that planning, of course, there were tools to enable people in planning, but it was still a very people-dependent function, like any other function, I would say. So we had like these legacy people sitting within the planning function who just knew that, you know, if this promo will come, this will be the uplift. Or this promo doesn't run well, so please don't put the numbers over there. Or this is how we do the supply planning and stuff like that. So it was still dependent a lot on people expertise, and things were working fine at that point of time. But when COVID happened, there was such a huge change that happened across people's lives, across organizations, across the entire value chain. The whole world, stopped for some time, and then everybody had that time to realize the fact that we cannot make the functions or processes people-dependent anymore. We have to make them more and more and more logic-dependent, more and more process-dependent, and very, very, very less dependent on people. So I think one of the things that helps, where digitization helps a lot, is making the process less people-dependent, right? And I'll come to where people are important. They're very, very important, still very important. We cannot run digital tools without people till now, I think. But what it helps is that, first of all, it brings a lot of agility. We are sitting in a world where anything can happen anytime. We have a very unfortunate but an excellent example in front of us where we currently know what is the geopolitical situation right now. And all the procurement fellows here would agree to that it has been a hell of a, time for them right now to procure material from Middle East or coming from Europe or coming from US, whatever be the case. So first of all, I think one big thing that digitization, whether it is through AI or through any other tool, helps is bringing agility, because it definitely helps you in taking quick decisions, right? If you have made a tool and if you have given the right inputs to the tool, right, it will definitely help you in taking the quick decisions for your organization, for your function. So number one is quick. That can be done manually, but it will take a hell lot of time. And currently, we do not have the luxury of time. The second part is that you can do a lot of scenario planning currently, because again, given so much uncertainty is there in the world, it is very, very important. And I personally feel, having worked in 12 years in supply chain, is that the next shift or the big shift in planning will come through scenario planning. So you have to build multiple scenarios for your current supply chain and have an outcome ready for each scenario, so that your entire process works on a signal, right? If you are scenario 1 or 2 or 3, you just have to give the signal and you have done all the back-end preparation, and immediately the entire process will start flowing, right? So scenario planning is the next part where digitization helps a lot, right? And the third part is that currently, because I moved my career from FMCG to tire business, I understood that what are the importance of external factors, frankly. Because although in FMCG also, of course, external factors do impact. But the kind of impact they have in a tire industry, because there are multiple, because Goodyear makes both farm and consumer tires. So from the government policies to the weather, to the monsoon, to the soil, to what is happening in Middle East, to what is happening with our OEMs, the car manufacturers, everything is an external input for my demand planning. So every signal that is coming from outside might have an impact internally. Even the current LPG shortage has a direct impact on my tire demand planning, because LPG is used in car manufacturing, and that is why the car manufacturers are cutting their car numbers, they are producing less, and that is why they are buying less tires from us. So every external factor has an impact on me, right? And there are so many of them. Manually, it is impossible to assess the impact of such external, signals. And that is where, again, AI or digitization helps, because you can feed it multiple factors, and given the historical trend or, data patterns that the tool can recognize, it can actually give you a pretty much accurate idea that how this will impact your planning or your supply chain. And now just coming to the last part is that how people are important, because we have not yet talked about people. So in all of this, of course, digitization helps, tool helps, scenario planning helps. But where people play the most important part today is that ensuring that we are feeding the right data into the digital tool. If we are not feeding, if our master data is not right, it is garbage in and garbage out. That is what we are doing with the tool. In my previous organization, I remember there was a conference, a big supply chain conference, and there was some global leader who had come. And he asked us in a room full of 300 people from supply chain that, can you please tell me who leads the master data management for India business? And there was not one hand up, because there was nobody at that point of time who was leading master data for that company, for us. Because there are multiple, inputs of master data. It comes from planning, it comes from logistics, it comes from procurement, and there was literally nobody leading it. So I think the first step of people currently right now is to set the data right, set one version of truth, which can be then used as an input to the tool so that you get the right output. Yeah, that's all.